So what we're working on today is, I bought this excavator a couple of months ago. Just been running around, a lot of work, a lot of travel for work, and you know, it was in pretty good shape, pretty well maintained, but I haven't really been pushing it just because the hydraulic fuel was low, and I had some the lines, the hydraulic lines for the boom needed to be, 2 of them need to be replaced. I just ain't had time to do all of that, so I replaced the hydraulic lines about a week ago, and then realized that one of my batteries was down to like 8.5 volts. So I was looking around, trying to find a replacement, $300, $400, blah, blah, blah. And I was actually on the way to go get one. And then on the way to pick it up, I took a closer look at the one I had and realized that it was manufactured in October of 24, which was only, you know, couple months old. So I'm like, all right, let me try to save this. That's the old, actually, let me grab this stuff too. That's the old bar that was hold the top plate in, and this was all rusted on here and I couldn't get it off. I took it home, soaked it. WD-40, the breaker, super penetrating and stuff, still didn't loosen up, so I found a way to put it on there anyway without loosening the nut. But either way, it's a little windy today, but we're gonna throw this battery in here. We're gonna get the excavator up the hill to a flat spot and throw some hydraulic oil in it. I might mess around a little bit, because I really haven't used it yet, to be honest. I haven't used it yet at all. So I might mess around with that, with the bucket that's on there now, and just see what I can move around. I'm really putting in a fence, so I got to do the fence line. We sold all this timber about 1.5 years ago, and I've been meaning to get it cleared up so we can turn it into a pasture and put a pond out there. And like I said, man, just been running around. Project after project. But this is a Zaxxas 350 LC. This is the 5N. When I bought it, it came with the Papa Smurf. So I'm gonna find a way to lean on that Papa Smurf a little bit. I don't know how to do that, but been thinking about that. So this one's fine. The one that was right here was only, like I said, only holding like 8.5 volts, and I just kept drip charging it, you know, past couple of days. So what's interesting is when I first tried to charge it with my regular charger, it wouldn't take because it was too low for the charger to even acknowledge it. So it wouldn't even charge. But then I had another charger that I use for the golf cart, where you can adjust the target voltage. And what's crazy is after I adjusted it down to like 8 volts or 9 volts and wanted to charge a 9-volt battery, and within literally 60 seconds it had pulled back up to like 12 volts, which was enough to put the stronger charger on, or the other charger. So I just put that on from that point. But we're gonna throw this in here, get her cranked up. This shit heavy. Get her cranked up, move it to the top of the hill, and throw some fluid in there and mess around a little bit. So got that on the ledge. And step 2. So I'll make sure these wires are actually kind of tight in here, so I want to make sure I don't put myself in a corner as I try to drop this in here. But this is heavy. This is pretty heavy to be trying to manipulate it like this. Slide that. Tricky. There we go. Alright. Don't necessarily like the idea of slamming that in there like that, but it is what it is. So it's nice and loose here. Alright, let's lock in our negative. I think that's a 1/2 inch. Actually, what is that? A 1/2 inch. Tighten her ass up. It's not a 1/2 inch actually. Yeah, it is. So the machine was pretty well taken care of, meaning all the maintenance records, the condition. When I went to get it, I bought it at the auction. I like the way that the motor sound, engine sound, transmission seemed to be solid. The tracks were pretty decent. And as you can see, you still got some pretty good tracks here. Still got a nice lip on this. Good shape there. My roller's in good shape. I really needed to clean this off. I shouldn't have left this like that. Everything was in pretty good shape. And it felt like the prior owner, whoever they were taking pretty good care of it. When I got it to the property, kind of went through the system a little bit more. Probably should have did that before I bought it, but went through the system a little bit more just to see what the previous error codes had been. And this is setup right here. I know I'm gonna jump around a little bit. When I went to get the hydraulic hoses, which I'll show you here, got these hydraulic hoses off that were pretty in bad shape. Got this one off, and got them replaced. I'm in the shop, and you can see this right here. This from when I was on it, but you got another leak right here, which means you're getting a little bit of fluid out of there. So we're probably gonna have to get that repacked at some point. And you can see the gnat sticking to it. They're not leaking, but I like to see them be a little bit more solid than that. So probably gonna get those repacked pretty soon. But when I went to get them hydraulic hoses in the shop, I saw these, right? You know, put them in the, you know, when you're doing your services on your hydraulics, plug it up so you don't lose too much oil and don't have to, you know, really drain it, or let it drain and waste the oil that's draining out. And I just threw them on the counter thinking they were gonna be like $20, $30. Get in the car, shame on me for not asking. Get in the car, halfway down the road, look at the receipt, $90. $90, which is crazy, but whatever. All right, so I'm trying to remember where the hell I had this at. And I think this goes on that top plate. So before we get too far down the track, I'm gonna throw her on here and see if we got fire. All right, should give me a spark. Yeah, give me a spark. All right, and we're gonna tighten her up. Now here's the problem. Here's my problem. I don't necessarily know why This, I probably need another something to hold this back on with. But I don't necessarily know why. If this battery is pretty new, now we got down to 8 volts. So that's the next exercise. Could be my alternator, could be a fuse somewhere. I don't know. But some causing my battery to lose juice. This one. And I gotta think through that too. Why this one and not the other one? But I'm confident there is a good argument for why it's pulling this one down and not the other one. My guess is that this is in the first position. This is in the first position on the positive, so it must be pulling this down before it get to the other one. Maybe that's how that works on this machine. But as you watch these, you're gonna realize pretty quick, I don't know what the hell I'm doing. But you also gonna learn pretty quick. I don't let that shit bother me. Just gonna figure her out. Alright, so how do we do this here? Actually, I just wiggle this out. So, throw this on here. Throw this on here. Throw this out the way. Got plenty of stuff in the way. That don't seem right to me. That don't seem like what I did. Must have been like this here. That seemed more appropriate. Alright. So, good here. We got cords in the way here. I can't get under. Now we're in business. There we go. Alright, that seems about right. That seems about right. I think it's fine. Yeah. Alright, so this here is tricky. This here was a little tricky because I can't get this one off. What I had to do was throw that in there. I had to wiggle this down under the bottom because I couldn't get it up. So as you can see, I'm gonna have to pick this front up. Really not all that excited about having to play around with this. We're almost there. Oh, you know what it was? It came off. I picked it up off of here. It's all coming back to me now, good people. Now here's the problem. I just told you I was gonna check to see if this thing got fire before I get too carried away. And here I go getting carried away. So let's jump up in and see what we're talking about. See what my girlfriend's talking about. I named her Kizzy. Big Kizzy. Alright, have my alternator clicking. Everything reset because of the power loss. The battery. We go to on. Let everything warm up. Got a couple maintenance items. Every time I come on, it'll tell you what needs to be maintenance or something needs to be maintenance, and you check it out. All right, here we go. 1, 2, 3. Juice. We got some juice, boys. We got some juice. All right, so battery doing the trick. It was 12.5. No, I'm lying. It was 12.7 volts when I left the house. So let's see what she do. I'm gonna turn it off. I didn't get it too hot, so I ain't no need to cool it down first. But we got juice. So let's go ahead and get this bitch in here. Pain in the ass trying to wiggle this thing down in here. Alright. Now I can lean it back far enough. Come on, little girl. Where the heck? Come on, little girl. There we go. She on now. She on now. Now we talking. Alright. Bingo. Bingo. Next. Gotta remember how I did this. I think I pushed this one through too. I think I pushed this one through too. What I did was, let me think. I had a washer on top. Had a washer on top. Then the 2 bolts. Then on top of that is where I made my money. Alright. So we got that on. Okay. Now I need to throw. I'm gonna go ahead and tighten that up a little bit. We're gonna go ahead and tighten her up a little bit. Just so she don't fall out. But I should really spray that first. Let me go spray that first. But yeah, that's the field. That's about that's about 10 acres. 10 acres back here. It was all pretty well managed hardwoods. Somebody before me, I'm assuming my grandfather, did a fantastic job trimming out all the trash hardwoods to make space for the good stuff. And we got some pretty good timber out there. Mostly hardwood timber. So we got some decent timber out there. And we're gonna turn this to a pasture. At some point I'm gonna walk through another part that ain't been cut, just to give you a good sense of like just how well that stuff will stand out. What you really gotta do, if you wanna have a decent timber harvest every, 50 years or so, you gotta go through sporadically and clear out all the bullshit. I don't know if I can say that on YouTube, but whatever. Clear out all the bullshit, and it'll help. It'll help cut down the competition, open up the canopy, let more sunshine come through. Now I tell you what I did. That was backwards. I didn't put that on. So again, as you gonna see, I'm gonna do a lot of backward shit over this course of this thing here. And while I'm at it, let me just explain how this came about. The kids always telling me, hey, you doing all kinds of stuff. Why not just go ahead and record it so people can learn how to do stuff. Cause now I know I don't know how to do everything. I'm 100% sober and self-honest about the fact that I don't know how to do everything, but they think I do. They swear I do. So they're like, make a YouTube. So man, I ain't got time for YouTube. They say, well, just get you a camera, a GoPro is what they call it. That's what I got. Get you a GoPro, put it on, and do what you're gonna do anyway, and just post it. So, here we go. I'm out here talking to myself in the middle of the field. Actually, I shouldn't say talking to myself. Talking to people who may not ever hear me in the middle of a field. Trying to build something that'll last a couple generations. So, alright. So I just want to tighten this up just enough to get that. Actually, I'm going to go ahead and tighten it all the way down. All right, so we in business. Should've, well, I already know what the voltage is. I just checked it before I left the house. So we know how many volts we got on it. We're gonna run it, and then at the end of the day, check it and see. Did we kill it down, or was that from an old issue somewhere? Alright, let's throw this up in here. It's a little windy, so my apologies. I don't know how this sound gonna come out. Not quite sure how this sound gonna come out, but it is what it is. We'll make the adjustments as necessary. I found out that you can put your, you can actually, if you want, put your AirPod. I'm gonna show you something next. You can put your AirPod. I put a mark right here because I couldn't tell where the steps were. So every time I get out, I'm like, where are the steps? I can't see it under the track. So I put this little mark right here so I know that the step is directly under that mark. A little cheat code.